Welcome back, everybody. It's Zach here, bringing you guys another fantasy football video. It's probably going over the best and worst values at the quarterback position across the three major platforms, those platforms being ESPN, Yahoo, and Sleeper. What I did for this is I just sort of went through each of those three platforms, assuming a standard 12-team league with a $200 budget, and put together built out a table of how much each of these players costs on each platform, and then we're sort of comparing how much they cost in that respective platform to what that average is there. So the players that cost less than average are going to be good values, and the players that cost more will be bad values, and that's just sort of a good way to identify which platforms give you different advantages at different positions and different players, and really just understand whether or not you're going to have to overpay for a player on a specific platform, because even though it really shouldn't matter, like the platform you're on really shouldn't influence how valuable a player is if all those scoring rules are the same. It really does matter because a lot of the people in your league are going to be seeing those pre-draft values, and it's just reasonable to assume that in your draft, there's just a little bit of psychology to it. They're going to want to feel like they're getting a good deal on players. They're not going to spend more than what that pre-draft value is. They'll want to be trying to target for like a fair price right around there, and it's going to drive how much a lot of these players cost, even though it really shouldn't have any impact on it. So super useful. I really enjoyed making these videos. I've also done the video for the wide receiver and running back positions. If you haven't seen that, highly recommend you guys go watch those as well. And then I'll do one more of these going up over the tight end positions as well. And then I know it's kind of hard to get auction values from platform to platform as well, so I can share this data with you guys on this on my website as well if you want it, and I can just put it up there. So let me know if you guys think that's something you guys would like. But yeah, with that, let's just get into the first website. So we'll start with ESPN here. Starting things off with the best values on the ESPN platform, we'll lead things off with CJ Stroud, who has an average cost across the three platforms of just under $16, but only costs $9 on ESPN. So as much as a lot of people, including myself, were a little worried that maybe things would get out of control with Stroud, maybe things would get just way too expensive relative to what he actually is going to present in terms of a value. I think on ESPN he's a really great value there. I'm absolutely targeting him there. I think that $15 price tag is right about where I'd be willing to go up to for him. So getting him for $9 is absolutely something I'd be happy about. Anthony Richardson has an average cost of $13 across the platforms. Only costs $9 on ESPN as well. If you look across like underdog ADPs and all that, Richardson actually normally goes ahead of Stroud. So that makes Richardson actually a better value across all three platforms than Stroud in a lot of ways. But $9 on ESPN is certainly something that I'm super excited about. I'd be more than happy to spend $9 on Richardson here. Kyler Murray has an average cost of just under $8 across the three platforms. It only costs $4 on ESPN. I think that's an insane value. I'd love the value of $8 on him, and getting him for $4 on ESPN is absolutely something that I'm targeting. And then Josh Allen comes in as the fourth best value here with about $3 in savings, just under $4 in savings. He has an average cost of just under $37. You'd be expected to be spending $33 on ESPN. So, it's $4 saved, but on that scale, you're spending $33 instead of $37. Not a huge cost savings there. It doesn't make a huge difference, but it's a little nice if you're someone who's targeting Josh Allen. You're going to save a couple bucks on ESPN this year. Moving on to some of the worst values on the ESPN platform, we'll start things off with Jalen Hurts with an average cost of $29.7, costs $32 on ESPN, and then Aaron Rodgers with an average cost of $2.3 but costs $4 on ESPN. And believe it or not, these were the only two quarterbacks across all three platforms where ESPN had an above average cost on those two quarterbacks. So what this generally means is that the quarterbacks are a little bit cheaper on ESPN than the other platforms, and it means that you really can expect to spend a little bit less. Obviously, know your league. In my home league, for example, it seems like a lot of the quarterbacks get bid up and all that. But in general, I think ESPN is going to be a good place to get whatever quarterback you like. They should be relatively well priced given the platform there. Next up, we've got Yahoo, and we'll go over some of the best values here. We'll start things off on the flip side with Jalen Hurts with an average cost of just under $30. You'd expect to spend $26 on him on Yahoo, so that's a pretty good cost savings. Joe Burrow, average cost of just under $12. Only costs $8 on Yahoo, so it's a pretty good price point. I'd be happy to pay that for Burrow. Patrick Mahomes has an average cost of $22.3 and costs $19 on Yahoo. As much as I've sort of talked bad about Patrick Mahomes, the value, especially in standard snake drafts, where you're spending like a fourth round pick on him, spending $20 on him compared to spending something like $15 on CJ Stroud or something like that, I don't actually hate that. I would still prefer Stroud, the value there, but if you guys want to be taking Mahomes, especially in auction drafts, I think it's a reasonable price if things stay right around there, and on Yahoo it's a good place to be grabbing him. And then Dak Prescott has an average cost of just under $10, but it'll cost you only $7 on Yahoo. Really great value there. I'd love to be getting Dak on Yahoo for sure. Next up, we've got some of the worst values here on Yahoo, and we'll start things off with Josh Allen, who's got an average cost of $36.7, but costs $41 on Yahoo. That was actually the biggest difference across the platforms for Allen, is that Josh Allen was just like $10 more expensive on Yahoo than the other two platforms, so his average is only, $5 more than that, but across the three platforms, he was a significant increase in price on Yahoo. So Yahoo's definitely the worst place to be drafting Josh Allen. I think I look to avoid doing that. I don't think he's worth $41. Kyler Murray has an average cost of just under $8, but costs $11 on Yahoo. I don't hate that price point still. I still think that's fine, but it is the worst place to be drafting him. CJ Stroud has an average cost of just under $16, but will cost $17 on Yahoo. Not too bad. I still would prefer to be obviously drafting him on a platform like ESPN where it costs half that, costing $9, but $17. It's right. It's on the high end of what I would consider paying, but again, it's worth considering if you are super in on CJ Stroud. And then other than that, all of the other quarterbacks on Yahoo were either cheaper than or within $1 of the average price point. Lamar, Jaden Daniels, and Tua were the only three quarterbacks who were slightly overpriced on Yahoo, but it was like less than $1, so it's not enough to really highlight. And really, I think, again, Yahoo's just a platform where other than those like three guys that I listed here, the quarterbacks go relatively cheap, so I don't mind, again, targeting the quarterbacks, especially that we talked about in the values here, but in general, quarterback is relatively well priced here on Yahoo. And then finally, we've got the sleeper platform. We'll go over some of the best values here. And really, the biggest thing that stood out here was that the sleeper costs are absolutely insane for the quarterbacks. Only the 3 of the 32 quarterbacks listed are below their average cost, meaning that 29 of 32 quarterbacks either cost the same as or more than the average cost across the other two platforms. So definitely something to keep in mind. You're not going to be getting quarterbacks for super cheap on sleeper. Aaron Rodgers, he is a little bit of a value. The average cost $2.3, but only costs you $1 on sleeper. $1 is all you should be paying for Aaron Rodgers. He's not really worth highlighting. He only has that average cost of 2.3 because he's $4 on ESPN, which is silly. But Aaron Rodgers is a value, and then technically Josh Allen is a value. Average cost of just under $37, cost $36 on sleeper. Not exactly a huge savings, but there's a little bit of savings. And then Jaden Daniels, average cost of 1.3, costs you $1 on sleeper. More than happy to take that dollar dart throw on him. But the real takeaway here is that the quarterbacks are going to be expensive. There aren't a whole lot of guys that you're going to get at a cheap discount on Yahoo compared to other platforms. So really, just you want to understand that the amount you're allocating to your quarterback in a sleeper auction draft is probably going to be more than on other platforms. And it does balance out. Some of the other positions are a lot cheaper, so it does balance out a bit. Just keep that in mind. You're probably going to spend more than the amount you were anticipating spending on your quarterback position if you're drafting on sleeper. And then we've got some of the worst values on the sleeper platform. And actually, the crazy part is that almost all the quarterbacks could have made this list. So the top 10 quarterbacks actually are pretty much in line with the other two platforms. So you've got Lamar, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts. Those three guys, they're about the same cost across three platforms, give or take a couple dollars. But the mid-tier quarterbacks in sleeper cost way more than the other platforms. That's what really drove up the averages for a lot of these guys as well. If you're on sleeper, I would highly recommend you either draft one of those top three guys, so Lamar, Hurts, or Allen, or just wait until you can get a guy for cheap. Take Jared Goff for $1, take Jordan Love for $5, something like that. Because the fact that is, all of these mid-tier guys, they end up going for in the high teens to the low 20s, and that's just a lot of money to be spending on like a back-end QB1, especially when there are plenty of quarterbacks going 10 through 12. Like I said, if you end up with Jared Goff, that's totally fine. Brock Purdy, that's totally fine. You can get those guys for $1 probably on sleeper. So I wouldn't recommend really attacking the middle tier of the quarterback position. For example, we've got Joe Burrow with an average cost of just under $12. He'll cost you $18 on sleeper. And of course, that $18 is really driving up that average. Anthony Richardson, average cost of $13, costs $19 on sleeper. Again, that $19 price tag is driving up the average quite a bit. And then Patrick Mahomes, average cost of $22.3, but costs $28 on sleeper. Also way too much. I wouldn't be doing that. And again, I wouldn't be high targeting the middle tier of the quarterback position here. I would definitely either take the top tier or just wait till late and see if you can find a value somewhere else. So that'll do it for the best and worst values at the quarterback position. Up next, we'll be going over the best and worst values at the tight end position. And then we're going to get into a lot more fun stuff. We'll get into some updated sleepers, breakouts. We'll talk about what's going on at training camp. We're going to do some more mock drafts. Coming out in the next couple of weeks, I'll be putting out just maybe a nice little formalized document on my website as well. We'll call it a draft kit. It'll be free for you guys, but it'll just go over some of my favorite values. Guys I think will be league winners, sleepers, go over my projections, my rankings, all that. It'll be free for you guys, but I just wanted to get that out to you guys because a couple people have asked about it, and I want to be able to give that to you guys because you guys are awesome and you guys deserve it. So, yeah. It should be a lot of fun. There's going to be 4 videos coming out each week the rest of the way. We'll keep putting out more throughout the course of the regular season as well. And if you want to make sure you don't miss any of that, just make sure you're subscribed to the channel. If you haven't already, please do give the video a thumbs up as well. It really helps with the algorithm. And if you made it this far, I hope you at least liked the video a little bit. So hopefully you find this helpful. Tight end video will come up next, and we're getting to a lot more fun stuff. So appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you with the next one. Peace. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, check out these other videos here if you haven't. If you want more content, please feel free to follow me on Twitter at RealSteelFFB. I'll be more active on there as the season goes on. Thanks. Catch you later.